When asked the question of what is my leadership philosophy, I only take what I have learned over life. When you are inspired by someone and you feel you want to be like him, that becomes your first philosophy, that you try and equip yourself with the tools and understanding and belief and habits an individual has who you look up to. So the first philosophy that I have in leadership is simply to look up to those people who have inspired you and inspire you. The second is you have to believe in what you're doing, and therefore in leadership you always look at those people who have achieved things over a period of time that they were committed to, they felt they could do it, and they have done it. This primarily has been my philosophy, that you have to play the role that you want to promote, and if you do not promote that role yourself and you do not get people inspired by your own personality, then you're asking them to do something that they don't believe in, and therefore leadership automatically fails. So whatever a leader wants to do, he must play the role, he must himself prove to people that he can do it. And then I think you start believing in the leader. Leadership in the technology world, and especially in an era where next generation technologies are going to be serving humanity, I think the biggest challenge that we have for the younger generation to understand, and this I speak with experience of the last 34 years in the tech industry, is primarily that unless and until we don't stay cutting edge, we do not apply ourselves and keep learning new things, innovative things that help humanity, that will uplift the resources of the earth that are already depleted by 60%. The future 2 billion generation of the world will not be able to survive. So leadership, when it comes to the technology and industry, has to be in people having the will, the desire to learn more, to apply themselves and find solutions that are applicable to our own environment and our own local base. When I say our own local base, I mean applications that will work for people from Gilgit-Baltistan down to the south, the people of Karachi, and up towards Gwadar and Turbat, Balochistan, Punjab, Sindh, KPK, Azad Jammu and Kashmir. All of these areas have their own challenges in all sectors, and technology can only help those who have the acumen to understand how we are supposed to do this. And how is the world doing it? How can we improve and extract within technology stuff that will bring us solutions that will help humanity? Once you drive yourselves with this passion and this leadership, you will automatically club the tech world and the next generation technologies with you and start solving all the problems that the earth will face and the world will face. The challenge we face in Pakistan is institutionalizing leadership. And in my belief, why we fail in this is because we do not all try and carry a core value system. Allah Ta'ala has been very kind to us that it has given us a value system where we have to be resilient, we have to have diversity, we have to have openness, and we have to have that personality that people believe in you, that you carry integrity and honor with you as a Muslim. And once we get these values incorporated within ourselves, institutionalizing leadership, I think, will become a walk in the park. This is where I think organizations, may they be in the tech world or in other places, are not getting it. That as long as we do not really work on our core values and all believe in a value system, we will not be able to have the kind of leadership this nation needs. Within our organization, Interactive Group of Companies, we've tried to bring about the leadership model as the shepherd's model. The shepherd is one person who looks after his own flock and develops bondage with that flock because he is dependent on how he brings that flock to its own natural growth and looks after it. If you want to inculcate and you want to see a leader, you need to have in him the belief that he is the shepherd. Because if he doesn't look after his team, he doesn't build emotional bonds with his team, he doesn't have the faith in the team and also worries about the team 24/7, he's really not the leader that you're looking for. If you do not understand and master the earlier technologies, it is very difficult for you to master the next ones. Unless and until we don't work together and we don't stay cutting edge, we will not remain leaders, and innovation plays a very big role, because unless and until you don't hit the next curve, there is a very good chance that you will be obsolete. One thing we realize that in this ever cutting edge innovation coming in technology and next generation technologies, we cannot spread ourselves too thin. Therefore, fulfilling hope is what we believe in as our core value and leadership in the industry. When I say fulfilling hope, I must explain very simply that the acronym of HOPE is driven from health, optimized connectivity, because 50% of Pakistan has no broadband connectivity and we need to encourage that, public safety and education. If we can achieve cutting edge innovation in these things, I believe we prove ourselves to be the leaders in this era. I believe that leadership is a quality that is born in an individual. How you can identify that is how that individual has communication skills, skills to be friends with people, skills to be able to take along people with him, and skills to be there as a friend, as a colleague, as an individual, with all the sympathy one can have in his heart. Unless and until you don't have these basic instincts in you, developed through teamwork, developed through how your personality is, how you're willing to help people, leadership, I personally believe, is a challenge. To be an effective leader, one also has to learn the art of how you equip yourself with failure. Unless and until you do not experience failure in life, I don't think you can ever be called a true leader. Life is a learning process. From a kid to what I am today as a grandfather, one is always learning. I remember as a kid, I would always look up to my mother, who had a heart of gold. She was very caring, she looked after everyone, she was always there, concerned about people. You wanted to do anything, know anything, you would go and speak to my mother. My own father, who was an upright man, served in the Navy, always showed me of what integrity and work and integrity, how they go hand in hand. As I progressed in life, I was very, very fortunate that I came across people as mentors who made me understand life much better, and I always looked at them for their own qualities. There are so many that I can name, but the man who gave me the inspiration of being somebody, people like Air Marshal Azim Daud Pota, Farooq Hassan Saab, who I owe a lot in life to, who actually gave me the liberty to do what I wanted to do and get into the tech world the way I wanted to. Nizam Shah Saab, the ex-chairman Pakistan Tobacco, who was very proper in how he addressed and his mannerism. Then as we progressed in life, there were so many people who came across me, I came across. And within them, there are a few that I would like to name. From a tech standpoint, I have always admired and I've always tried to follow the caliber that he has attained and has is Dr. Ataur Rahman. In professional life, I have never seen a man more committed to technology and focused like General Kiani and so many others of his colleagues, General Tanveer, who I worked a long time with, and so many individuals within the armed forces. My recommendation, and this is my learning over life, is that you need to have a few skill sets that one needs to work on. Apart from what I've been saying, that it has to come from the core, it has to come from your heart. Leaders are born, they can also train themselves to be much better. Within the training, I would say things that I lacked, but I would encourage the younger generation to equip themselves with. One, remember that technology is just a tool. The more tools you will know, the more effective you will become. With that, if you do not have the flair, you must try and read as much about languages, because how you communicate with the other, especially if you understand their background and their cultural behavior, their language, there is no better bond to break the ice than knowing a language. On a lighter side, if you can play an instrument and you know music, nothing like an icebreaker in music. If you want to keep yourselves aware of how people respect you, then individual skill sets that you develop as a sportsman, and especially in team sports, not individual sports and not playing games on iPad, it is field sports. Unless and until you cannot work with a team and you do not excel in a game or a sport, I think you would lack in your leadership qualities. General Eisenhower said it very well, that we all have to worry about each other or there will be no other. And as you go along, you find people like Steve Jobs and Bill Gates. Bill Gates said something which I have always kept very close to my heart, that if you keep talking about problems and don't show people solutions, they will never follow you. So if you really want people to act, then you need to show them solutions with the problems. In our society, we are always talking about problems, but not many people are looking at how do you convey solutions. And you can fail. Failing is not a risk. If you don't take risks, then you're really not doing anything worthwhile in life. What people need to understand is that together we can solve problems. We need to work together. We need to understand that what we will leave behind in this world is what we have done over the years. And you can always connect the dots going forward by looking at your own footprint and seeing how you came or how you have reached a place in life where every step counted. And if you want to make that step count, then you have to be able to understand what your end goals are. And to achieve end goals, one has to have the imagination, the consciousness in oneself to believe in the future of what one wants.